Good afternoon. I hope you're having a lovely day. I went back and forth quite a bit about what type of video to do next, so I decided to kind of do a weird combination because I really couldn't decide. To be completely honest with you, I am still struggling a little bit at times with the death of Chronically Jaquie. I've found myself in tears several times completely randomly because of it. And I think a lot of people struggle when somebody passes away, so I feel like it is normal, especially when you share a lot of the same illnesses. It's just a little bit scary and it can bring up a little bit of anxiety. So I feel like though in today's society there's so much pressure to only have positive emotions and a positive mindset. But that's not the way we were created as humans. We're meant to also experience negative emotions. I don't mean by any way that, you stay there in the negative emotions, unpack, and just always be depressed or down. But just, I feel it's healthy to experience negative emotions and then move on. But that's my opinion. I feel like, though, it is okay to not be okay. And it's okay to grieve. It's okay to grieve even if you only spoke to Jaquie once. It's okay to grieve if you spoke to her every day. Or if you never spoke to her, because I feel like with her we had a very unique connection with her through her videos. So, and likely if you're grieving, she impacted your life in a positive way. So, like I said, I feel it's completely normal. But I would really love if you would let me know in the comments how you're doing in general if you've been grieving. If there's anything I can do to help, feel free to let me know just how your week's been going and how you're doing in general. If you need a little bit of extra support or a friend, please feel free to leave a comment or leave me, I believe they're called a DM on Instagram. I am so new to Instagram. Or a Facebook message. I will have all that contact information in the description. Sorry, I get out of breath quite quickly recently, so I do apologize if you can notice that. I do feel, though, that offering support in a time like this is just vital. So I hope having a video again like this is kind of helpful for some of you. But for the rest of the video, I am going to kind of be talking about a health update, about what's been going on, and then also just where I see this channel going in the near-ish future, because with chronic illness, you don't plan that far out, to be completely honest. So today, I don't know if you can tell, maybe not, but I feel like it's noticeable because I know. I'm already in my pajamas. And it's only 4 in the afternoon, but hey, as a chronic illness warrior, if you're one, you know that's kind of normal. It's been a little bit of a long day. It was a good day, but a very long one, because doing anything when you're in the middle of a flare-up is exhausting. So I actually saw a new heart doctor today, which I was so extremely nervous about, because anytime you have to go see a new doctor and you have all these illnesses, kind of well, hi, I'm Victoria, I have 7 diseases, half of them are rare. Good luck. It's really awkward and really hard to see a new doctor. But we decided, my family, my nursing agency, everybody who's kind of involved in my healthcare, that it was time to switch a lot of my doctors, which is really, really hard, like I said, to do with any type of chronic illness, especially when you have several rare diseases. My last admission to the hospital was last July, and it was an absolute nightmare. I would not wish the experience, honestly, on anybody. I was tapering off prednisone, and my body got to the point it was extremely, extremely mad, because the taper, honestly, was way too fast, and I don't make cortisone on my own, so it was completely a huge mess. But basically, I went without eating, and I think by the time I got to the hospital, it was already going on 2 or 3 months at that point. And they ran, some normal tests, a couple, a CAT scan, blood work, not very in-depth blood work, but they did do a little bit of blood work. And everybody was kind of just in my room getting upset with me and frustrated. They didn't know what was wrong, but nobody else was running any tests. At one point in time, I was told, well, just check out of this hospital and go check into a better one by a doctor told me that. So that was a little bit scary. Because when you're in rough condition, honestly, that was the last thing I wanted to do because I felt terrible. Getting out of bed was not really feasible at that time. For me in the hospital, I spend most of my time in bed, basically, sleeping. Which is the only place I think, lay down for that long is in the hospital. They also almost accidentally killed me by letting me miss prednisone because, again, I don't make it. I am adrenal insufficient. So my endocrinologist had told me that a few months later, which was a little bit nerve-wracking, honestly. Something happened with management at the hospital I was at, and it was like there was a shift in management. Somebody else took over the hospital and the entire health system, which has negatively impacted a lot of patients, me included. Most of my doctors would forget to run labs or just be like, oh, not my job, have so-and-so do it. So if I had like a UTI or felt like I had a UTI, I'd like go to like say my PCP and she'd be like, well, why don't you have rheumatology run it? And then rheumatology would go, well, why doesn't your gastro run a dipstick? Which is so simple. But that's the type of runaround I would get for basically everything. They didn't have time for me, like during my appointment, it was kind of like they'd rush through it. Nobody really wanted to do anything. It was, well, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to tell you. Oh, that stinks to be you. Ooh, I'm really sorry that happened. I hope you feel better. Nothing really productive, and it's been like this now a couple months. It was not like this in the beginning when I was at this facility. It was like the best facility I had ever been to. But it's not like that anymore. Sorry. And then I had another doctor that I would make an appointment and we'd get really close to the appointment. Like, oh, it's later this week. It's Friday. Great. We're going to see him. Then the office would call and be like, yeah, he's got an emergency Friday. So we're going to have to push you back like 3 or 4 months. This happened about, 6 or 8 times. And I got to the point, it's time for a new doctor. I mean, you kind of need a good medical team when you have any type of chronic illness, but with so much stuff going on, it's really important. So I was also told that I didn't need an endocrinologist, even though I am adrenal insufficient. So it's just been all levels of crazy and stressful. So more or less, obviously, it was a huge mess. I was very hesitant, though, to switch doctors, to be completely honest, because I didn't want to end up with somebody worse than where I was at. So, but we did start transitioning me to a new facility, which I'm in the middle of, and it's been going really, really well, which I am ecstatic about. I've seen 3-ish new specialists and a new PCP. Having a good team of doctors who are willing to communicate with me, my family, my home health agency, and any other doctor involved with my care, it really just lifts such a huge burden off of me that I don't need to try to remember to communicate everything to every doctor, because there's a ton going on and it's just not realistic for me to have to update everybody on everything by myself. It's easier if they send notes. And I mean, if you have a chronic illness, you do know that. So, having a new PCP for only about a month has really been completely life-changing for me. It's been so much less stressful. I swear she came out of some sort of chronic illness, fairy tale book. It is wonderful. So, I saw my new heart doctor today, like I said, which, like I said, was so nerve-wracking. Because a lot of people don't know what POTS is. And sometimes trying to explain everything going on, a lot of people get overwhelmed quickly. So I was actually relieved that he didn't get super overwhelmed or anything. He actually listened to me when I was explaining all the treatments I've tried, what I'm allergic to, why I'm allergic to it, and just all my different symptoms that have been going on because my POTS is flaring. I'm not sure if it's flaring because other illnesses made it mad or my treatment just needs to be tweaked. I'm not positive at the moment. So, and my PIC is ordered by my cardiologist. So we had to go over what's the next step because it's 9 or 10 months old now, my PICC line, so it's coming towards the end of its life, and we need to figure out what's next. And he did agree, which I was a little bit surprised, that putting in a port is going to be the next step. I mean, it's logical to me, but I wasn't sure how a new physician on the case was going to feel about it. So I was very relieved and excited when he's like, yeah, I think, you know, your next step is a port, because POTS can be lifelong. Some people, they say, grow out of it. I don't know how true that is, because most people I know have not grown out of it. But hey, I mean, some people might. So we're going to be discussing that more, though, next week after my echo, which he ordered to check up on my 2 minor heart defects. And because I have EDS, he wants to make sure that I don't have any like vascular involvement, which makes sense. I'm so overdue for an echo, it's not even funny. So after that appointment, we'll be talking more about the port, and I'm gonna assume we're gonna be talking about pulling the PICC line. And then lastly, he decided to put me back on a beta blocker, which I've been off of for 3 years, I want to say. I didn't have a reaction, it just wasn't working. For anybody who doesn't know, your heart should be between 60 and 100 beats per minute at resting. Mine currently, recently, every time it's checked, has been between 110 and 180 at resting. So a little bit on the high side. Sorry, I need to take a sip of tea because of my POTS. So, like I mentioned, I think I mentioned it at least in my last video, that I'm in a pretty severe flare-up. I'm not positive what's going on because a lot of the symptoms are not my normal symptoms, which is a little bit strange. I don't really know like what triggered the flare-up. I don't know if it's stress related, if treatment related, or nothing related, like at all. Who knows with certain flare-ups? It's really hard to tell with so many illnesses. My left leg has been swollen now for a couple weeks in a weird spot, and it's driving me nuts because it hurts to walk. It's a little bit of a problem. Then I noticed in the ER when I was hooked up to like all the cardiac monitors and stuff, because chest pain and heart rate high and everything, apparently my oxygen drops too, to about 75. It'll drop, it'll climb back up, but it takes a while to climb up. He didn't really say anything cardiology about that yet. I think he's kind of like taking all the information in, and then we're going to go back over that, make sure like we didn't miss anything. My nurses are not very happy with the whole oxygen dropping, heart rate rising, blood pressure is just literally all over the place. Pain levels have been high. I'm not doing like my normal routine with having my infusion. Like I don't feel significantly better yet, which is a little bit concerning and a little bit frustrating, honestly. So that's my health update. Sorry, it's already 13 minutes into the video, but lastly, I just wanted to talk a little bit, hopefully quickly, about my vision for the channel. I'm hoping from now until August to have a video go up weekly, and then I'm thinking August to December-ish would be hopefully every other week because of school. I'm hoping it's realistic. We will see. I'm thinking about doing a PICC line video, obviously pretty soon, just because it's hopefully going to be pulled soon and the port will be in soon, so might as well do it while I have it, so I think it would just be easier. Also a video about my service dog journey, maybe also like a service dog one-on-one type video, don't know, let me know what you think. Also a few awareness videos on a few of my illnesses, how I set myself up to have a successful morning with chronic illness, and maybe a video or two more so geared towards girls just because I am a girl, and about kind of like body image with chronic illness because I know that's something that sometimes I struggle with. So please let me know if you have any video requests in the comments. I am open to all types of requests, and it would be really helpful just to know what you guys would like to see and what's helpful for you, because obviously I'm making these videos for you, and it's just great if you can benefit from it and it's something that you're interested in. So let me know, please. And don't forget to subscribe if you're not subscribed. This way you're notified when I upload a video. And feel free to connect with me on Instagram, WordPress, or Facebook. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye!